Hello, this is the Just Because Buzz. I'm Merritt Crawford. Thank you for joining me. This is episode number 43, and today is Thursday, February 20th, 2025. I'm so glad you stopped by for a visit. I have an update on just my regular stitching and wanted to share that with you. I have quite a few FFOs to share and some older FFOs. I have WIPs that I want to share with you, some updates regarding my Etsy shop, and just want to welcome you. If this is your first time coming, I would love it if you would like and subscribe. And if you are a returning viewer and have never subscribed, I would really like it if you did that. That really helps my channel. It gets it out there. So wanted to give a little life update and just say thank you so much for those of you that reached out and commented in my last video about praying for me regarding job opportunities. I am waiting to hear back about one, and so it's just everything seems to be falling into place, but I just haven't quite sealed the deal yet. So thank you for your prayers, and I would appreciate just continuing to pray as I make these decisions. It's been snowy here. Last night we had probably another 1-inch fall, and the day before we had probably 3 to 4 inches, and so it's white outside. I'll put some video of that at the beginning. When the sun shines, it just looks like diamonds on the ground. It's so pretty, especially with a blue sky, but sometimes it's gray for a while, and then the sun comes out, and then the clouds come back, and it's just part of winter, isn't it? I like all the seasons, and so even with snow and gray days, I know that spring is coming, and I just try to enjoy all the seasons. So let's see what else is going on. I've had opportunity to go stitch with my friends at the Lake Cumberland Stitchers group. We met on Saturday at the Pulaski County Library in downtown Somerset, and that was a lot of fun. It's always fun to sit around and visit with fellow stitchers who have the same interest in stitching as you do, and just so much variety of things that we're working on and plans of wanting to start things together. And so that was a lot of fun. And then I still do my Friday FaceTime with my friend Louise, and she's down in South Alabama, and so we get to visit on Fridays. Most Fridays we do, and so we've been stitching and sewing and finishing, so that's always fun. And it's a great way to continue a friendship even though you're miles apart. So if you have that kind of situation, I encourage you to find a time to FaceTime. Maybe that would help you get some things done. That's kind of what we do. We encourage each other to get things done. I'm going to start out, I'm going to back up just a little bit, kind of life update. It's probably been pretty obvious in the last few videos, at last probably 3 or 4 videos, that I am doing something different with my hair and that I'm not coloring it anymore. And so I'm going to just let it grow out, and as it gets longer, then I'll have it trimmed and things. I'm considering when I do decide to do some more styling and cutting, that I may do Locks of Love, which is a organization that takes they need 10 inches of hair, and you can cut it in a ponytail and send it to them, and they can use it for young children who are going through loss of hair for medical reasons. And so they make wigs with it. And anyway, I'm not to that point yet, but I'm sure you've noticed that I do have a gray crown coming about. And so with that, I thought I would share my encouraging word at the beginning, talking about this. It was a hard decision to make, to do it. And so I've been encouraged by others, and I really appreciate that. It is a big change for me. So sometimes I look in the mirror or see a picture, and it's hard sometimes. but other times I know that when I get to my goal, which is to get it grown out, I don't know if I'll wear it this long when it's gray and white, but when I get it to a point where I think I could have a pretty style, then I'll do that. So I found a Bible verse that I wanted to share with you, and it is in Proverbs 16. And by the way, Proverbs 16 is chock full of all kinds of great Bible verses. I'll share a favorite one and then one that pertains to the hair. So a favorite one would be Proverbs 16:24. Pleasant words are a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and healing to the bones. So that's just every day with anybody. Pleasant words are just sweet to the soul and healing to the bones. And then the psalm that I was reading regarding my hair or gray hair is in Proverbs 16:31, and it says, a gray head is a crown of glory. It is found in the way of righteousness. And I'm on a journey in my Christian walk. This side of heaven, it's all sanctification. You know, you're growing in your walk with the Lord. And so I don't have that crown yet, but one day I will. So the next thing I want to talk about is Miss Jean. We all know that she passed away. She was the owner of the attic out in Mesa, Arizona. Never got to meet her, but did get inspired by her, and you'll see that in some of the things that I showed today. So I just want to send out my condolences to the attic staff and to her family. I know her memorial is this Saturday, so we just want to be thinking of them. Okay, so old FFOs. So I pulled out two from St. Patrick's Day. I only have two pieces, and so I thought I would pull those out because that's coming up in about a month, and I thought it would just be kind of fun to look at them and to talk about them for a minute, because one of the designers a lot of us are familiar with, and she is so kind because her designs are free, all of them. And so I definitely wanted to share about hers. And then the other one is also a freebie, and I don't know as much about that designer, but I've written both of their names down. So the first one is this one, and it's called Erin, E-R-I-N-U, like the little sheep. And this is by Melissa from Pinker and Pumpkin Quilting, and she has a blog spot, and all of her patterns are listed free there. And you can easily find this when you go on her blog spot. She has a sidebar that has different words in alphabetical order, and you can look up sheep, or you can look up you, and this should come up. You should be able to see it. You might have to scroll through some of her blog posts because she has multiple sheep cross-stitch patterns, but eventually you'll see it and you'll be able to get it downloaded. And so I just finished it on a little square of mat board, and then put a little bit of batting and wrapped it around, and then I used a little bit of gold rickrack for the trim and a green ribbon just in a little ribbon shape, and I glued it behind the board onto the black felt. And I just used a scissor, I believe it was a scissor, to cut the felt or the wool to give that edge. So again, this is Pinker and Pumpkin Quilting, Melissa. She's also on Instagram, so you can see a lot of things that she'll post on Instagram, but she does the blog frequently. You can sign up to receive notification of her blog, and then you get all of her freebies right there in your email. And then this one is a little needle book, and this is by Heather Athbyne. It's A-T-H-E-B-Y-N-E, and it's called Shamrock Needlebook, and it's on her website. And so this is the whole little needlebook, and then inside I had some fabric with the Irish flag, and then put a little, like a coin for the needle holder. So, little needle book. So that was a lot of fun to make. So those are my 2 old FFOs. There are some other really cute shamrock type designs out. I know Brenda Gervais has some, and then Melissa has quite a few more that you could stitch that have clovers or sheep. It's really cute, so check that out. So new FFOs. This one's not real new to you. I showed it to you last time, but I didn't have it completely finished, so I thought I would share that with you again. And so it's the Little Mary Stitches by Robin Chappell. And this time I have the trim on. I just added the cording and added the bow and the bell. I still haven't done anything to the inside, so I'll have to show that to you one day when I get that done. But the cording is done. Excited about getting that one done. The next one is, this is a piece that I received as the exchange piece from my Lake Cumberland stitchers, but it wasn't fully finished. I just received the stitched piece. And so I fully finished it. I did a little pillow and put this as the backing, and then the trim is rickrack with beads on the side. I just stitched those beads. As I stitched the rickrack down, I stitched the beads into each little divot. And it just turned out really cute. And I don't know who that pattern is by. Like I said, I just received the stitched piece. Next is Mr. Marshmallow by With Thy Needle and Thread. And he is stitched and finished. And I did use the Kermit and all the call for threads or DMC equivalents. And he was a lot of fun to stitch. Little trouble with the pom-pom trim, so it's not my best finishing with the pom-poms, but you know, he's pretty cute and in a little bowl or sitting out on a shelf, it'll be just fine. And I used this for the back. I thought it was perfect. And I did the finishing where you do the 2 pieces of fabric, stitch part way on either top and the bottom, and then leave an opening, stuff it, and then use the ladder stitch to close it. So that's how I finished that. But he is super cute. All right, and next, Love Notes. So this is also With Thy Needle and Thread, and I have only done 3 of the 5. I ran out of time, so I've done the heart one, this one, Be Mine, it's called Lovebirds, and the XO. And then next year I'll do the stamp one, and then I Love You a Lottie, I believe. And so what I did was I went ahead and put the fabric that I used for the others, the finishing fabric and the rickrack, and I went ahead and put it in here so that next year when I pull this out to stitch those 2, I'll have everything all together. So the first one I did is this one. And I just used a cute little pin that had a pearl on the top and put the date that I finished, the year that I finished, and then put the bow in the center. And I did the same finishing as I did on Mr. Marshmallow with the seam up the back. And I run out of room to put things. And then this is XO. Just again, I used a straight pin with a key and the bow. And stitched it in the middle here. And these are stuffed with polyfill pretty tightly. And this will be mine. Now this one is done with rickrack. And I just used a thinner pearl cotton, probably a 12, and stitched in each of the little divots. So very cute. And then the final, oh, I have two more. Let's see. Lemon the Round by Miss Judy Whitman. And this is stitched on a 30 count pale pink even weave. And I use Belsois Fresh Raspberries silk thread. And then I just color matched the cording with a DMC 600 and a DMC 777 to make the cording to match. And then just used a pale pink. It's a Moda. I think it's kind of a grunge for the back. And then finally, this is XO Spool by Crafty Bluebonnet. And there's my finish for it. And I stuffed it with crushed walnut shells. So I used a little rickrack trim and just some quilter's cotton on the back and the front. And then just a little grosgrain bow with a bulb pin and the year. It turned out cute. Her patterns are so cute. Okay, so those are my FFOs for this time. So quite a few. I was excited that I could get that many done. So that was fun. All right, so just FOs now. I did have some finishes this time as well. So the first one is Honey at the Tiny Town. And this is by Heart and Hand. And have you seen the nativity that's coming out at Market? Oh, it's so cute. And here's my finish. I stitched mine on 16 count. It's called Bay Rum, and this is an Ada. And I'm going to mount it on a Pete's BeeCuzz spool up here. I'm excited to get that done. And then the next one is Though He Seemeth Sleeping. And this was a stitch along with my friend April of April Heirlooms _heirlooms. And so this is Though He Seemeth Sleeping. I used all the called for threads using the Gentle Arts, and Lucy Beam is the designer, and she actually has multiple thread conversions in the pattern. And I had purchased this pattern from the attic. And this is on 37 count. I believe it's Legacy Linen, and it might be Honey. But there were quite a few of us that stitched this. April, of course, Celeste with Celeste Creates, Chrissy Keller, and Chrissy's on Instagram, the Carolina Cross Stitcher, which is Kathy, and Pete of Pete's BeeCuzz. Actually, let's see, the stay-at-home quilter, Kim, she stitched it twice. So if you saw, she showed it on a video with Stitching with the Sisterlies with Colleen. She was a special guest on Colleen's video when Sister couldn't be there. So Kim was on there, and she showed both of them, and they're beautiful. Okay, and then the next FO I have is Miss Liberty, and this is a pattern out of the 2024 summer issue of Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. And here's the back, and that's her. And let's see. I did her on Vintage Country Mocha 36 count. And I have her finished. So these last two pieces, the Miss Liberty and the Though He Seemeth Sleeping, were homework pieces. I had set up a homework schedule for Miss Liberty, and then April had set up a homework schedule for us for Though He Seemeth Sleeping. And I kind of like that. I enjoyed having a couple of projects to work on that had little homework assignments every month, and you could see progress, and you knew there was a goal coming at the, you'd have it finished by a certain date. And so that was really fun. So it was good to get this done. And then one of my pieces of haul, I'll go ahead and show, I found at the library for like 10 cents, is this book. And so Teresa does a lot of book finishes. So I think I might try this. Let's see if I can just fold it real quick and kind of show you. I might try it on the book as a book finish. So, and it's a book that's about Ulysses S. Grant, one of our presidents. So that's a consideration, is to finish her on a book and display it around the 4th of July. And then when I mentioned Miss Jean a while ago and just her inspiration, you've probably heard a lot of people talk about her and the 56 count linen. And one day I was watching Nicola Parkman with Hands Across the Sea samplers, and she had shown a locket that I think I have the story straight. Miss Jean had stitched for her and put an initial in there, if I remember correctly. Anyway, I pretty much immediately ordered it and called the attic and said, I would love some 56 count. I would love a really pretty red silk to stitch with it. And I would like that locket if you have it. And they didn't have it at the time, but it came in. They had it on order. And I didn't realize that it was, I thought the locket was unique to the attic. So that's why I went to the attic to get it. And I'm happy I did. But it is available other places. It's a Tim Holtz product. And so this is the locket that I'm talking about. It's kind of got a beveled edge there. And then when you press on this, it opens. So what was decided was the 56 count that I received, it's Kingston. That's the brand of the linen. And then the color is Cafe au Lait. And another piece of haul that I'm going to share with you is this book. So I forgot who initially showed this book, but I know my friend Louise purchased it, and it's Vintage French Needlework, and it's on Amazon, and it does say it's a bestseller, and I think it's because of all of us on FlossTube that are showing it, then people go and get it. But it is a fantastic resource for all kinds of letters and alphabets and borders and just so many things. And then there's color pictures of projects that have been stitched, and so it's just so fun to peruse through this. So I have stitched 3 letters of the letter M, trying to find the right size to fit in my locket. And I created this little disc. This is like 2 pieces of comic board put together with a piece of batting on the front. And I know that that will fit in here. It'll go in here. But I was having trouble finding an M that would fit in there. You know, M's and W's are probably the 2 of the biggest letters, if not the biggest letters, to stitch. And so sometimes it's a challenge for them to fit on things that you want to fit. So the first one I stitched was this one. This is the 56 count, and the color is, it's a Tudor silk, and it's Cabernet 235. So that's the first one. Well, it was too big. These two pieces, you know, either side were coming off the edge, and so it wasn't going to show, but it is a beautiful letter. And so for that one, I'm going to make it into a scissor fob and use some French General as the back of the scissor fob. So it'll be okay. So then I stitched another one. So I thought, okay, well, I'll try this one. And it was too big too. So then last night I stitched this one. And it's going to be just right. So this one, I made a little note about it, is, so like the first one I showed you was 38 inches or 38 stitches across. The next one was 30, and then this one's only 17. So I really had to go quite small to get it. So hopefully the next time I do a video, I'll have my locket all made. I've got it stitched. I've got my little piece. And I think if I want to interchange it, I'm considering using some really tiny magnets that I got from Harbor Freight. And they're tiny. And I used them in some of my needle minder boards and my roll. And so I think that little magnet will fit right there. And then I can put a magnet in the center of this, and I would be able to interchange them. So if I wanted to stitch a bee one day and put a bee there, then I could interchange them. So that's my thought. So we'll see. I need to have a few more colors. If I want to do a bee, I'm gonna have to have a few more colors of the Tudor silk to accomplish that, because you need a really fine silk to stitch on the 56. So that's my story about that. So yeah, I enjoyed stitching the 3 M's on the 56 count. I think a small project, I wouldn't mind it. It is pretty tedious though, and keeping your silk about 12 inches long is probably a good rule of thumb, because it kind of shreds. So anyway, I did enjoy it, and thank you, Miss Jean, for your encouragement. Okay, whips, what have I been working on? So in the meantime, I have been working on quite a few pieces that I want to have ready for August. So I have a goal of having some designs ready to attend the August online needlework market. So I know we haven't even had the March needlework market yet, but I have to really work ahead here and get these models done. And so I have been working a lot on these models and charting them online and in my program, and then stitching them, and then working on ideas for what the models are going to look like. Some of them are smalls, one of them is a large sampler that I've shared with you about before. And so anyway, January was quite busy. I had quite a lot of regular stitching and then quite a lot of model stitching in January, and then a lot of model stitching here in February too. So but I've gotten some other things done too, so let's talk about that. So the last homework piece that I have in stitching right now is Feast of Friendship. And I know Roberta and Lenny are stitching this, the Sable Stitchers. And if you are still interested in the just the schedule that we're using, I'm happy to send you the PDF of it, or you can take a screenshot of this if you want to. Even though I haven't put my dates in here, I have kept up. But this is Feast of Friendship by Blackbird Design. And there's quite a few of us stitching it. My friend Louise, my friend Janann, my friend Jan, Roberta and Lenny. There's some other ladies that have reached out that have asked about stitching it with us. And so I have it on my handy roll. I really like my handy rolls for keeping my needlework from getting so wrinkled. It saves a lot of time when you get ready for a floss tube and you don't have a wrinkle piece. So I have started my February homework, which is the cartouche, and we're supposed to do the big pumpkin. So I've started my homework, so I still have to get that finished. But I had the January homework done, which was the grapes and bringing down this border on this side and those acorns. And I am stitching mine on a fox and rabbit. Eureka, I think it's the name of it. Is that right? Let me look. Let me make sure I'm telling you correctly, because yes, 36 count Eureka is what I'm using. Fox and rabbit. And these are the threads. And the threads are just, they're so beautiful. And most of them are sampler threads, gassed. This is one of the boards, let me pull it back out. This is one of the boards that has those tiny magnets in there that I was just showing you from Harbor Freight that I can use. I can just load up my needles and put them across here and then grab them as I need them, especially when you get into a area where there's a lot of changes in colors. You can do that. Okay, the next one is Heartstring Samplery, Consider the Lilies. So she is my biggest girl that I have. And she's in a blackbird design bag. I forgot to show the other bag. Let's show that. So this is what my blackbird piece is in with the Feast of Friendship. It's a Lori Holt 12-inch block from Farm Girl. And then this is vinyl faced. It has the grid there with the patchwork. And then I store my lilies in my table mat. I made it so that I could keep it clean, mainly when I'm not working on it. So this is a table mat that I also use. And so she's so big, she's bigger than my board now, even my big board, but we will make sure we get it shown all the way. I've started working on the tree. I did notice when I pulled it out the last time after I had showed it to you all, I had missed a motif over here. I might be able to show it. Drape it over my arm. So I'm working on the tree, putting in the apples and the branches. And so I need to fill in all of this for the tree, and then I can start the bottom and finish adding the lilies all the way around. So I have the bones of the border all the way around. It's such a beautiful piece. I just love it. So Consider the Lilies. It is stitched on 36 count Winter Moon. It's just as Weigart based linen. It's not over dyed. The next one is a Teresa Kogut piece, and this is Woodland Santa. And this was a freebie. Oh, here's the bag. It's a Mary Englebright bag that I made this past winter. Just a plain back. This was a free chart in her newsletter exclusive. So if you weren't getting her newsletter, I would encourage you to sign up for her newsletter, because she is one of the most generous designers I've ever come across, where she shares all kinds of things at different places. And anyway, this is one of the things that she shared in her newsletter back in November. And this is where I am. Let's see. Use this big old board, but all I have right now. So there he is. So I am, for the red for him, I am using, I was going to see if I made a note of it, but I didn't. It'll be down in the bag. I changed the red for this. So I am using Ruby Slipper by Gentle Arts. Pulling back up here so you can see. And today I saw a cardinal outside my window. I just thought that was neat. It was just right here, sitting on a bush. So I told him, go in the back. I've got some birdseed back there. Go back there. I just put birdseed out yesterday. All right, so next I have With Thy Needle and Thread, Winter Rose Manor. And I had some fill-in work that I could do on this while I was at my Stitcher's Day. And so it's in this cute little bag that a lady sent me for letting her borrow a chart. It was just so sweet. So Winter Rose Manor by Brenda Gervais. And I just did fill in on this border up here. In fact, I still have my needle up here, but I was working on this fill-in. So all across here. And this is what I've done so far. And this is how wide it'll be. So gradually getting some work done on that. So it was good to find this project before I left to go there, because fill-in work when you're visiting is probably the better thing to have than to be counting. The next one is one of my older whips, and I really would like to get it finished pretty soon, which is Fiona Rutherford 1866. This is a wishing thorn pattern, and it is stitched on It has 4 colors. They're all DMC, and it is stitched over 1 on 32 count Belfast linen. And boy, I pulled it out the other day and I struggled. You can't do the sewing method because it wants to slip. So, but I put in a couple of more of these flowers, and then I finished the border. Put in the brown. I already had the red in, but I put in the brown. So now I have these trees that go here, and I have the big red house in the center. That's where I am. But it's kind of slow going. But I am enjoying it. It's a pretty little sampler, and I do want to get it finished. And then I'll have 3 1866 samplers stitched, and I want to get them framed and on my wall, so I have to make a plan for those. I also want to free up my strawberry bag. I have it in my strawberry bag. Doesn't really have anything to do with strawberries, but there are some stitches that have strawberries that I wouldn't mind putting in this bag. So anyway, all right, so the next one, the last whip that I worked on, is a Teresa Kogut, and it is a piece that I received when I went to a retreat at the Craft Gallery back in 2023, I believe. And so it's called Just a Girl, and I've stitched the other one, the companion piece. And so I worked on this a little bit, and this is in a bag by Kathy of Carolina Cross Stitcher and Pete's Bee Skips. Has the cutest little scissor pull. And so what I worked on was, all I had was the urn down here and the outline. And so I added all the greenery and the flowers. So now there's one over here and one up here. So there's 2 more of these, plus all the center. So I've got a ways to go on this one. There's a lot of stitching in that dress. So my friend Ann and I were stitching it. We had it on a schedule and I fell off the schedule. So Ann, how are you doing? I don't know if she's gotten back on schedule or not, or she might be finished with it. Okay, so those are all my FFOs, or excuse me, my whips. So starts, I did have a couple of starts. So Tara Sullivan with Sully Stitches had a stand-up bowl hashtag for the Super Bowl. And I didn't have any, I haven't pulled the trigger yet on any crackers. As much as I love them, I just have not purchased one yet. And I didn't have any Teresa Kogut Santas that I felt like I wanted to be a stand-up. But I did have one that I've been thinking about for a while. And it came on my radar when she started talking about that. And I thought, well, maybe I should try that because I already have it. I've been wanting to stitch it. You know, maybe that's the way I should go. So what I did was I pulled out Cinnamon Stick Christmas 10, and it's Santa and his winter friends. And so I want to stitch the stand-up, but I'm doing it in a red coat, and I'm having to do it on a different size linen. I think this is a 28 count. So it's going to be different than this because this is actually stitched on 7 count, what they call Clostern. And you use 6 plies of floss. So I didn't have that. I was trying to stitch out a stash and not purchase things. And I was also trying to stitch out a stash as far as my thread. So I decided to try using some of the old tattered thread floss that I had, and I chose this, I think she calls it grungy green. And so I don't have a lot done on him, but this is where I have. So his head, his cap. So I'm going to pick some things out of her thread line that I have. The old tattered flag is up in upstate New York, and she has just started with a whole line of floss, and I've got quite a few here of hers. So I decided to try her green for the green coat Santa. Since I already had a red coat Santa that I was working on, I think I totally told you wrong in the beginning when I was talking about this, that I was gonna stitch the red. Actually, I'm stitching the green. I just chose a different green. So we'll see how far I get on this. It's gonna take a while. There's a lot of stitching in this. There's a little snowman down here. There's a little house down here. There's a little birdhouse up here. You can see more of it here. So I'm gonna have to change and kind of adapt mine, but that's okay. So it's called the stand-up bowl. Hashtag the stand-up bowl. So you can look and see what other people, most people did the crackers, but I just didn't have that pattern, any of those patterns. And then the other thing I started was this is an out of print chart. Maybe it'll get printed again, but it's a Blackbird design, Evening Shades in the Garden. And So, and I did quite a few changes to this. I love the design, but I wasn't sure I was going to like the black that much. So I decided to go pink and navy. So I don't know if the color, I'm getting sunshine and then I'm getting some, that might be pretty good, but it's the pale pink again, and then navy. And that's actually Distressed Denim by Gentle Arts. Begonia is the brighter, then Pink Azalea is the lighter. Begonia is the Weeks Dye Works. Pink Azalea is Gentle Arts. Shutter Green is the green I'm using. That's also Gentle Arts. So we'll see. It is, I'm doing 1/1 on 30 count, even weave. Again, I can't do any sewing methods, so it's a slow process, but I am enjoying it, and I'm appreciative of being able to borrow the chart. So that was a new start, those two. So I had talked last time in my video about doing a quilty tube. So after I film this, I'm going to go downstairs and attempt to film a quilty tube. And I have finished 2 projects of the 25 that I had set aside for finishing in 25. So I'm saying it here that I am going to go downstairs and film a quilty tube. And so you'll get to see those there. So I also am going to be teaching a class at my local quilt shop. Let's see if I can find the pattern. And we decided on feathers. And I'll insert a picture here of the project that I came up with. I didn't do the whole quilt because I just ran out of time to be able to actually do the whole quilt, but I did a little table topper, and the ladies, of course, will have an option if they want to do the whole quilt. Then the main thing is learning how to do the blocks. So there's that. Then I did talk about doing a Finish It Friday video too, and I'd love to do the hem stitch with my blessing sampler. So I'll see if I can get that filmed too. That's probably my biggest challenge is the time and being able to film it so that you can actually see what I'm doing. And then I wanted to share some of the books that I've received recently. I thought that you might enjoy as kind of a book review. And like I said, this one is just chock full of wonderful alphabets. And some are large, some are small. You could put together your own little sampler, but it is a great resource to have in your library of stitching books. And then sometimes I like to get on books or thrift books and look for some of the Blackbird books that I don't have in my stash, whether they're quilting or stitching or whatever. And I happened to find a good price on You're Invited, and so I purchased this one. And there are some cross stitch pieces in here that let's see if I can find one. And then there's also the quilts, of course. A lot of applique, but just so beautiful. Like Chelsea's Cottage. I love just the house itself. But here's Lydia Mizell Sampler. It's a really pretty sampler with blues and greens. So pick that up. And then that same day I saw this book, Traditional Needle Arts Cross Stitch, and it just had a lot of neat things in it. It's written by Katrin Cargill. Can Can you imagine sleeping in that bed with those beautiful linens? Let's see if I can show you another picture or two of some pretty things. There's like a carnation table topper. Just some pretty things. This is a really pretty table mat, placemat. So it was just fun to get this book and just to flip through it and to get inspiration. Look at this. House sampler. Another one I picked up was this one. It's an embroidery by Kathy Schmitz, and it's Stitches from the Garden. So it has a lot of neat little projects. Very cute. And then at our library, where I had gotten the book for 10 cents, I think maybe the time before, or maybe these were the same day. Might have been the same day. I got that. I got this little book, and it's just little like felted or even fabric little birds, and it's all different little birds. Just really cute ideas. And then I had never seen these before by Better Homes and Gardens Christmas, and it's called From the Heart, and they were 10 cents each, and so it was kind of hard to pass up, but they just had still some timeless ideas in here and recipes. So it was just fun to kind of find those and pick them up. I was trying to find, there was one specific thing that I wanted to show you. Even these little penny snowflakes, those are cute. I mean, even you can potentially do that with a child. Maybe it was this one. There was a little garland that I thought was so precious. Let's see if I can find it real quick. It's a little mitten garland. Just cute little timeless ideas. And so I picked up 3 of those that had some ideas in it. And then this book, me being new to cross stitch, or new back into cross stitch, I should say, kind of got back into it around 2018. This book came out, I believe, the first one came out maybe in 2016, and this one came out, I'm not sure when it came out. It's by Betsy Morgan, and I found it on the Inspirations website, and then ordered it. I found it through Amazon and ordered it. But the finishing of these projects and the instructions, it's just a fantastic book. I'm hoping to get the first one, Willing Hands. There's a book 1, and I want to get that book too. But wow, if you haven't gotten this, you might consider, just from the standpoint of great illustrations for like a stitching library, and for stitches, like specialty stitches, and then just all these different beautiful projects to stitch and the finishing. Let me see if I can, one of the ones that has just really caught my eye. I just thought it was so pretty, and since Bristol is pretty popular right now, but look at this, and the finishing on this with the ruched binding on that needle book. Just some really neat ideas. But this one's called Bristol Bag. So anyway, like I said, this may not be new to some of you. You may have seen it before, but I just thought it was worth sharing, and I hope to get book 1. Okay, so some linen that I recently purchased. I purchased some Picture This Plus Rin 40 count, and that's going to be hopefully used in some of my model stitching. I also purchased this. It may not be the right color for my model stitching. I'm going to have to do my thread toss and see, but it's a blue, and it's Belfast Linen 32 count Dwarf by Picture This Plus. Very pretty though. And then the other piece of fabric that I purchased for model stitching is from Tropical Stitches, and it's a 36 count Faith. That's pretty true right there. So again, 36 count Faith by Tropical Stitches. I purchased that. Louise gave me this cute little piece of fabric, and that's so cute with the little blue bird. Oh, he's so cute. And then if you've seen Judy Whitman's new releases for Market, she has one called Bee in the Round. Well, you know, I'm gonna love the Bee in the Round. And so I was in Hobby Lobby the other day and saw this little hanging flower, and I thought that bee would fit right there. Here's Love in the Round. So that's the same series, and there it is in the center. So potentially on the right piece of linen, it would fit in here. So I just thought that would be cute to put the bee in the round in this little flower. So I purchased that. And then I wanted to give you a little bit of a shop update. So my patterns that are in the shop right now are Thankful for You. That's still in the shop. These are all PDFs. The Souvenir Stitches. So that one is Horse and Buggy. And Bicycle Built for Two. And then the Palm Drive Carriage Ride. So those patterns are still in the Etsy shop. And then I have 2 project bags in the Etsy shop right now. I have, and they're Valentine. I know it's past time, but you can always put Valentine stitches in it for next time. So I have these, and it's got this cute little cloud, pink cloud fabric. And then I also have this one. And it has the red zipper. And this one has kind of like a floral tone-on-tone white. And then coming soon as project bags, I have found this new designer to me. And this is her first fabric line with Benartex. And I'm gonna make some project bags out of these panels. So there's the green and the pink. Purple is spoken for. Wildflowers, and the pink, and then the green. So I will have those coming shortly, and I want to show you the companion fabrics to those. Those seed packets. And then a gardening theme. A green picnic, strawberry, sunflower, butterfly. Look at that. Bees. Oh, look at this. Beautiful. And the pink. So this is, I don't think I said the name. Let's see if I can show you a selvage, and that might be the easiest. So it's Katie Daisy, Benartex. And I believe it says a wildflower heart. And I have a First kind of discovered her when I found the daytime one that I wanted to use this year. And it's this little Find Me in the Flowers. And these are her designs. And oh my goodness. Can I just show you the stitching? June. Look at how cute that is. I mean, so cute. So anyway, when I found out she had a fabric line, look at the February, and she has stationery and she has just all kinds of cute things, I decided I wanted to make project bags with that line. And so I ordered it, and I will be getting on that pretty soon. So that's coming. And then finally, if you've stuck with me this long, I have a giveaway. Let's see, what did I do with it? There it is. I have Antique Roosters by JBW Designs. And if you would like to be in the running for this, you're gonna put rooster in your comment, and then I will do a random YouTube picker and draw a winner that way. And then I will announce it in my next video. So I thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you've been encouraged. I hope you found some inspiration. I hope you will work on finishing some things. If you haven't, tag a friend and get on FaceTime and get busy finishing. I look forward to seeing you again soon. And look for my quilty tube. I'm gonna go film it when I get done here while I have a quiet house. Might have a cat visitor, we'll see. All right, take care. Bye.